Help support the show by joining the Patreon or becoming a YouTube member. Also, hit that like button and subscribe if you want more Browns-focused content. The conversation about quarterback at 2 at this point has narrowed into a Cam Ward conversation. What started as a debate about Cam Ward Sanders feels like it's starting to narrow in on just Cam Ward himself. Now, I am not the biggest fan of how Cam Ward plays, but I wanted to go into this with an open mind. So what I have done is went through Cam Ward's tape, and I have about 17 minutes of footage, good, bad, and different, of Cam Ward that we're going to break down, and we're going to talk about what I like, what I don't like with him, what he could be, what he can't be, all this stuff that goes to his tape. So let's jump into it. All right, let's look at the film on Cam Ward. Now we're going to start with the good stuff, right? What can Cam Ward do? What does he bring to the table that literally nobody else brings to the table? This is the answer to that, right? Like, nobody in this draft class is going to be able to do what Cam Ward can do with his arm as far as arm talent is considered. And when I say arm talent, I'm talking about the ability to throw from different platforms, to throw from different angles, to adjust and throw without your base, all of that stuff, right? Not necessarily accuracy, but arm talent. Cam Ward has the one up on everybody in arm talent. Just look at the throws that he can kind of rip off here, and you'll see. Just straight over the middle, dart, right? Beautiful stuff there. We're going to see more. We got a bunch of these. This is what Cam Ward can do that makes people excited about Cam. And it's deserved. Again, no other quarterback in this class has this ability to throw like Cam does, right? I want you to notice what makes this just arm talented as hell, right? Look how his base barely moves to strike this ball. It's not like he's putting a ton of effort into it, right? He fires that thing straight into the chest. Look how it drives. You see how this ball carries fast and drives? We'll go to another one. This is him being able to kind of put a layer on it, right? Backing up, man in his face. He's able to arc and layer this one beautifully over the top. We'll look at it from the reverse angle. All right. Again, guy in his face, backing up from the other hash, able to make this throw with space and carry. Good. Another example of his arm talent. Right here. Right? Rolls, and then look at this throw. Restrepo does not catch this, unfortunately. But rolling without a solid base. Look at the base. Right? Sideways, sideways. He has to kind of hip throw. Arm all low. Doesn't matter. Look how that ball goes. Right? If you came from the Will Howard film breakdown to this, it's a world of difference. Right? Again, look at that laser he throws in there. Look how little effort it takes from his lower body to do it. See? Just easy. It's not super involved. Like with Shedeur can make that throw, but Shedor's lower base is going to have to be much more engaged. His mechanics are going to have to be much more in sync in order for that throw to be made. With Cam, he's able to just do it, right? Little step, side step. You don't need perfect feet. Cool. Throwing the ball is just easier for a dude like Cam. I mean, this is another example. Look at the base he throws off of. Horizontal, right? He gets hit. Still makes that throw. Incredible. Again, he's the only quarterback in this class that can do that. Again, look at the base when he throws this. Right? Like, that's not a perfect base to launch a ball from. It's a tough base to launch a ball from. You got two guys in your face. And look how far that ball goes. Again, Restrepo does not catch that, unfortunately. Here, just again, look nonchalantness, right? Just able to flick this ball downfield. Kind of reminds me of Lamar and his arm talent, right? Like his arm's comparable to a dude like Baker's, but it kind of reminds me more of a guy like Lamar Jackson, where I felt like Lamar is able to kind of throw from those off angles, and he definitely like does not need his base in order to get those throws. Like when he throws it, it reminds me of Lamar. When he throws it, he does not run like Lamar, but it's kind of that same effortlessness. Like, look at that. That's some shit straight. This is some shit I've seen Lamar Jackson do as a passer. You don't often hear people compare passers to guys like Lamar Jackson, but this is a good thing. Lamar's a 4,000-yard passer in the NFL. He's won two MVP off of his passing ability. Look at this. Throws, looks away. This is the arm talent of Cam Ward. This is why he has separated himself in most scouts' eyes in the conversation of 1 and 2 quarterback in at least this year's draft. Because he is capable of doing this. Ultimately, you cannot teach this, and this is very useful in the NFL, right? Having that arm talent. This is what Cam Ward brings to the table that people like. Everybody universally will tell you these are positive traits of Cam Ward. All right, let's go to the stuff that makes people feel a little bit indifferent, right? You know, you got to feel one way or the other about this kind of stuff. This is the stuff I would call the crazy, wacky, goofy Cam Ward stuff, where he has this ability to escape, and he uses it in college football, sometimes successfully, sometimes not. This is one of those times where it's successful. He escapes, throws this ball downfield. It almost gets picked off, but off the ricochet, gets caught by Xavier Restrepo. Definitely not planned. Definitely off schedule, right? Definitely not the structure of whatever play this was, but things broke down. You could argue this pocket's not that dirty, so he should have probably stayed in it. But he gets out of there, finds some space, almost throws an interception, but he throws a touchdown. Another example of him, making something happen out of structure. Again, kind of flighty, right? Like definitely did not need to leave the pocket. Look at how clean that pocket is. He rolls out here. He kind of runs himself into some pressure, but then he makes this throw. And it scores a touchdown, or it comes damn close to scoring a touchdown. You can look at this and be infuriated by what you see, right? Like you watch this and you're like, why did he escape a clean pocket, right? It's kind of that Brett Favre, Baker Mayfield-esque kind of quality of him. Just escapes his pocket way too early. Throws more of the cowboy stuff from Cam Ward. Now this time he definitely needs to escape. He does. Needs to escape again. Throws this one out to a running back. And I think that ends up getting back to the line of scrimmage. You'll take that. It's another one where he absolutely needs to escape. Pocket's still kind of clean. He bails. Rolls out. Makes the right decision ultimately, though. Like, I don't mind if you get out the pocket, you decide you want to run downhill if there's space. Even if you leave a clean pocket, you get 10 yards, you get 10 yards, right? It's another one. Again, he does have that escapability. The arm talent is there. You combine the escapability. You want to draft Cam Ward. Let's get into some of the reasons why I'm not excited about Cam Ward. And this play is an example of it, right? Now, again, it worked out fine in the ACC versus Louisville. But the process is really what you want to evaluate here. And the process is that this is about third down, I believe. Let's see if we get a zoom out on this angle, but I believe it's either third or second down. Okay, it's second down. So it's second down. It's late in this game. You absolutely need a first down. Keep the drive going. And I believe Miami is up at this point in the game. So Cam drops back. And what I do not love here, even though he made the play, is it's a simple process here, right? You got a whip route. If you look up here, your safety, not your corner abandoned. So they went drop deep third. This linebacker is on hook curl. So he's not thinking about anything out here. So you got big gap of space right here. He should be able to read that and get the ball to my guy over here, get the first down, and then some, not put the ball at risk, protect the lead, and also keep the team on the field. Now, again, it worked out, so it's fine, right? You're not going to bench him for this or anything like that, right? But this is stuff that you wonder, hey, when it gets to the NFL, is this going to fly anymore, right? Because you got to make your life just a little bit easier. You got to do the situational football stuff in the NFL. And this was not good situational football. And this is the situational football stuff that I find Cam Ward to be especially bad at, right? As good as he is at arm talent and escapability, the situational football stuff. And keep in mind, Cam Ward has played 4 years or 5 years as a starter. He's played an exceptional amount of college football. So he should be really polished at this kind of stuff. And what concerns me is that his inability to play situational football is something that is never going to grow for him, because I feel like if it would have grown, it would have showed signs of growing already. Now, what do I mean by this? All right. So we're looking at this, and what we have right now is 3rd and 5 in the fourth quarter. Miami has 39 points. Duke has 31, which means Miami is +8 in the fourth quarter, and they're driving. Ball is on the 41. Okay, so that's the situation here. Oftentimes when we do film breakdowns, we forget about the situation, but that matters a ton. Let's look at this situation here, right? So we pointed it out, 3rd and 5. You're up 8. You're on your opponent's side of the field. 10 minutes left in the fourth. And you do that. That is one of the worst third down decisions I've ever seen. Given the context. Again, you're up right now. It's 3rd and 5. I understand there was pressure here, right? On the edge, he felt it, which is cool, which might have disrupted him hitting Elijah over here, because I think Elijah was probably who was going to get this ball, right? Him hitting Elijah here, he's looking at it, or maybe he's worried about something down here. Either way, does not get the ball out quick, but that's fine, right? What you cannot do on 3rd and 5, you could throw the ball out of bounds here. We can punt. I'm fine with that. You can take a sack here. I'm fine with that. What you cannot do is this. This is something a very inexperienced quarterback does. He is not an inexperienced quarterback. And it makes me concerned, because even experienced quarterbacks who demonstrate an ability to avoid these kind of decisions in college get to the NFL where the game speeds up and they get rushed into bad decisions like this. And my thing is, if you make decisions like this and the speed of the game isn't forcing you into it, What are you going to do when the game speeds up? Like if you have already demonstrated you make poor decisions into college level, I can't imagine that your decision making gets much better at the NFL, because this is just horrific decision making here. I mean, you're up right now in the fourth quarter. This football could have been picked off. Like he's lucky. Well, not picked off. It was picked off. This football could have been returned for a touchdown. Easily, right? That could have been a pick six. Duke could have tied the game on that one throw. You can't make decisions like that. And the thing is, this isn't the only time he's done stuff like this. Just a horrific decision. Like plenty of time to get that ball out of bounds. Chooses to throw this one. I don't care what you see. You can't make that decision. All right, another situation here. Fourth quarter, 2 minutes left. Georgia Tech is up right now, +5. 2nd and 10. Take care of the football. Let's try to get ahead of the stakes. Work for a 3rd and short, right? That's going to be the situation. You got max protect in right now. Looks like 22. No, 20. Yeah, 20, 22. Or 21. My bad. Looks like 21. 2 running backs, 1 tight end. Or maybe it's 22 with the tight end in the running back position. Either way, you're in a max right here. And you got to just get rid of this damn ball, man. This is not the time to hold on to it. Right here, right? If you're looking for where the ball should have went, more than likely over here. Here would have been fine here. Just get the 5-6 yards. Make your life a little bit easier, right? That's all you have to do. Instead, what happens is that he holds the ball. You're already down on the road in the fourth quarter, not that much time left. And then you play this game, and then you finally get stripped. Georgia Tech recovers. They got the ball on the 15, and they end this game against you. And you end up losing. It's like the number 3 team in the country to Georgia Tech. Let's go back earlier in that game. Another poor decision by him, right? 4th and 3, 2nd quarter before the 2-minute warning. Or the 2-minute stoppage, whatever the hell they call it in college, because they don't want to call it 2-minute warning. Gets it here. Where should this ball have gone? It seems like a lot of times this happens where like Elijah Arroyo is open and he doesn't see it. I don't know if that's something with them, but Elijah's on the out. You get a safety, not safety, a corner who clears that area. You get a guy playing hook curl. Ball should have been out. Right? 4th and 3. Like, this is no time to mess around. Yep. He plays the corner. You have the tight end. You should see that and throw it. Or you should hit that ball route where Xavier Restrepo is. So Xavier Restrepo running a ball route. What a ball route is we've seen David Njoku do this a million times if you're a Browns fan, right? David Njoku does this all the time. Runs, stops over the ball. It looks like a little curl, but it's basically a security route, right? Makes a ton of sense to throw it. Got to either throw that ball route or you got to throw that out. Can't hold it. Can't hold it. In a situation where he cannot hold it, he holds it, tries to run. Bam. Again, look at the situation. You're down 4. It's 4th and 3. So you're not taking the points right here. You're going into halftime. Now, instead of being able to take the lead potentially, now you are going into halftime, giving Georgia Tech the ball, potentially allowing them to score before half and go up double digits on you. It's poor situational football case in college. Similar thing with Shador, right? There's a similar level athletes. You love to extend the play. Are you going to be athletic enough to do that at a high level in the NFL? I don't think that's going to be the case for him. All right, another one, right? Another little thing with Cam Ward that I think everybody should be cautious of is he loves the sidelines a bit much, right? Like he kind of plays football like Madden. And what I mean by that is if he sees a big play, he's going to take it. And that concerns me. He loves the sidelines. If he sees any opportunity on this part of the field or on this part of the field, you could forget about anything here. And the problem is that Cam Ward's actually much better here than he is over here. He's not very good as a passer over here. But here, this is his best spot of the field. This is an example, right? He gets excited. He thought he saw something in this vertical concept. And he ends up missing the middle of the field entirely. Right. So he thought he saw something here. He gets excited. He's going to throw this ball here. But these two guys are going to be open, especially him. I mean, look how open he is by the time this ball is even released. And that ends up being a big miss here. Right. I mean, remember, Miami loses this game. Arroyo pops open pretty immediately, but he locks on to the outside because he gets way too excited about outside the numbers here. I mean, Strepo pops open late too. Just didn't see it. All right, let's continue. Throws this one out here. Again, he gets a little excited. I worry about this being a problem in the NFL because what the NFL is going to do you is if they know that you're one of these guys who, if you see anything shiny outside the numbers, you're going to take it. They're going to throw at you all the shiny bait in the world. And Cam looks like somebody who's going to do it because, again, underneath here has the 9. This is wide open. Strepo's going to be wide open on this play. Where does this ball go? All the way downfield because he got excited. He saw some candy. Like, there it is. It's wide open. Caught the linebacker and hook curl, run away from him, have no say. This isn't cover 2. This is cover 3 or quarters, right? So corners are dropping back, giving you depth. You're running underneath that depth. He tries to hit a hole shot. Don't know what that's about. Another one. They kind of baited him here, right? They knew he'd take the shiny. His eyes probably should have worked back middle. Because they pretty much abandoned the middle of the field. Xavier Restrepo. Whip route inside. You have that. It's an easy first down. Instead, he forces this on the outside in double coverage, almost gets intercepted. Then there's this third aspect of the bad situational football stuff with Cam and the bad decision making, in my opinion. In the NFL, what I think separates good quarterbacks, well, not even good quarterbacks, mediocre quarterbacks to the good and great ones, are their ability to be okay with doing what's boring, right? They're not always searching for dopamine. Tom Brady's a perfect example. Tom Brady will bore you to death by just making good decision after good decision. He's not going to try to force something outside because it's more fun. He's not going to try to get shit going by throwing a deep ball when he doesn't need to. He's going to be patient. He's going to make the right decision. Cam Ward, from a decision-making standpoint, shows a lack of patience. It's actually kind of ironic because in the pocket, he's very patient in the hopes that something explosive can break downfield. But when he makes these decisions, he's not patient in the terms of how he needs to go about building a game. He's just not going to be a good game manager. I think that's going to be true in his first couple of years for a fact. He's going to be bad at that. This is what I mean, right? Where you just got to make your life just a little bit easier. Make the right decision. Now, the right decision here, again, what's the down? First down. Get ahead of the sticks. They play off of your tight end here. Again, they're in zone, so they're playing off. Take advantage of that, right? Here, he's going to play down here. You could throw that to him. He can get 10, 15 yards, probably a first down. You can move on with your day. That'd be cool. Instead, what he tries to do is hit this over the middle. But the problem is that this is going to be more congested than the other throw. The other throw would have been a lot simpler to make. And because that throw is a little bit more congested, boom, ball gets knocked out. Other throw, open. And look, with some quarterbacks, I'm not going to make you make that throw. But with Cam can absolutely make this throw from the opposite hash to his tight end. That's well within his repertoire. He can make that with time. He's got to take advantage of that, make his life a little easier. Instead, he makes this throw, which, again, he makes it. It's an accurate throw over the middle. But doesn't get completed. Why? Because he made the life of the wide receiver a little bit too hard. And this is something that pops up with him, right? He talks about holding the ball as a quarterback and why wouldn't he do that if he has the time? And it makes me wonder, I'm like, are you not aware how much harder you're making your offensive lineman's life when you do that, right? Or when you make decisions like this, how much harder you're making the life of your wide receivers. Good quarterbacks make the players around them's life a lot easier. He has not demonstrated that ability to make the people around him life's easier. And that's what makes somebody, a quarterback, appear like they make guys better, right? When we say a quarterback elevates those around him, we're not saying that guy makes that guy a better player, but he makes everybody's life a lot easier because he does things that makes people's lives easier. He has a bad feel for that. He tends to make things harder on himself, on his offensive line, on his wide receivers than they may need to be. Which is why I think Miami underperformed this year and didn't make the playoffs, despite being one of the better teams and more talented teams in the country. And there's nothing wrong with this throw. It's a good throw. It's a damn impressive throw. But you're just not making the life of the guy catching that easy. And you could have just made a very easy decision for yourself, throw it to the tight end. Didn't do it. This one right here makes his life a lot harder on this throw than it needs to. This is like a wheel. So let me draw the route for you. Little wheel concept, right? He pops open almost immediately. All you got to do is see it and throw it. That ball should have been out eons ago, right? Instead, he holds. He's waiting for something to come across the field. Maybe he's looking at something outside the numbers again. He throws this late, and by the time he throws it, now that's not an easy catch. Now that's a more difficult catch. Again, you're making the life of number 8 much more difficult than it has to be right now. This is a continued theme in Cam Ward's tape, right? Franchise quarterbacks make the life of those around them easier. I've seen him make his offensive line's life way harder than it needs to be. I've seen him make his life way harder than it needs to be. And I've seen him make his wide receiver's life a lot harder than it needs to be. Again, this one, just get this ball out to the tight end. right? Throw this ball to Cam. Let him run with it. It's first down. Get 5 yards. It's fine to get 5 yards. Instead, holds on, cuts around, jumps around, throws this. Everybody's life is a little bit more difficult because of that. It's more tough for the offensive lineman. It's more tough for your wide receivers. And it's cool that you could do this. And if you need to break it out, sure. But you didn't have to. Before that pocket got collapsed, you had Cam McCormick wide open here for pretty easy 3-4 yards. Boom, right there. That's a throw you can make. I know you can make it. Instead, we're doing all this. And then we're asking, was that Xavier to tiptoe that one in? Running around. I mean, you imagine how hard this is to block for? It's 1st and 10. Again, make people's life easy. Under, drag, throw it, get the 5 yards. Get the 5 yards. Whatever's down here, it ain't happening, or, maybe it's just not the time to be looking to make these big plays. Got to play better situational football than this. It's the kind of stuff that you don't really get a grasp for when you're watching it and you're not really invested in any of the teams watching, or when you're watching highlights, you don't get a grasp for this kind of stuff. But this shit matters, right? When I hear people tell me I can't see how anybody can see that I can't see how anybody thinks Cam Ward's not good. It usually tells me that you watch their highlights, because if you watch their games in context of when it happens, this is something that pops up a ton. Poor decision makings. Got to make your life a lot easier. This is another example of this, right? Now, look, we're going to watch this through. It's going to look cool as hell. You're going to be, that was a touchdown, Quincy. What are you talking about, right? Who cares? Throws that, bam, catches it, cool. All right. Now, the catch was much harder than it needed to be, because even if this play was legal at this point, you got a walk-in touchdown here underneath, right? If you just look for 7 here. And then let's go back even further than this, right? Because before that, this play gets flagged for holding. I'm pretty sure once he breaks the pocket, yep, my man holds about right there. So this play gets a flag. But before it even got to that point, let's look for 7 again. Just throw the mesh. Just throw it. Right? Right here. He's there. He catches that. That's a first down. Maybe even a touchdown if he breaks a tackle. Make the life of those who help you easier. Instead, we do this, right? He breaks the tackle box, makes his offensive lineman's life harder. That attracts a penalty. And then throws a football that gets his wide receiver killed. Luckily, he holds on to this ball. Great catch. But he didn't even have to make that throw. There was a much easier throw available to him right there. Some people might say that I'm being tough on him. I think if you're considering to take a quarterback number 2 overall, you better be damn tough on him. Now, to Cam Ward's credit, right? It's not all bad stuff. When Cam's on time, it's encouraging, right? This one, he's on time underneath. Look, that's the same thing I wanted him to do earlier. Same thing, right? That's all I want him to do. Stay in there, goal line. It's an achievable concept. Easy. He's a little late here, but fine. I live with it. This one, on time. Look at that. Boom. Look at that chunk play. It's beautiful. Another one, his RPO stuff, by the way, I think he's going to be a really good RPO quarterback in the NFL if you can just stick with him in the RPO. I don't know how far that could take you or how much that can give you a floor for as a quarterback in the NFL, because you can't just run a whole offense of RPOs. But RPO stuff, he's pretty good at it. Here, boom, right? Really good. He can throw from any base, which makes him able to make these decisions without have to worry about where his feet are. And he's excellent at these RPOs. When he's on time, it's much more encouraging, right? Much more encouraging. The decision-making seems better. The accuracy seems better. The results seem better. So I don't want to make it seem like he's never been on time once in his life in Miami. There are times where he is on time. He is making the right decision. And I think that's when he's at his most effectiveness. It's what, 3rd and 5 here? He audibles to something. And boom, right? This is the kind of decision-making and effectiveness and decisiveness that I want to see on 3rd and 5. Right? Boom. No. It seems like you got to make the game really simple for him to be decisive. Like you got to boil it down to 1 or 2 options. That concerns me greatly. Again, this is a guy who's played a ton of football. But when he's on time, you can see the vision. And look, I don't hate that he holds the ball. I like a quarterback who's patient, knows how much time they have to work a concept, because every once in a while it's going to become important, especially in a situation like this, right? Where you're running all your routes past the sticks. Okay, be patient, throw the check down. You get the first down anyways. Cool. So there's some usefulness to that patience, and it's just he doesn't demonstrate that most of the time. Most of the time he demonstrates that he's just eager to throw downfield. The accuracy stuff, my bad, is a concern too. He's not very accurate. If we look at the weighted on target project that Corey Kinnan did, where he went through and he charted every quarterback in this class, Cam Ward comes out pretty low on this one. He has a weighted on target of 61.21. And the way that Corey has broken this down and charted this is to say, hey, regardless of the result, right, we're measuring process. Where does the ball go as far as the ball on target, as far as where it was supposed to go, regardless of if it was caught or not? Cam Ward, 61.21%, which is one of the lower numbers in the class. It is slightly higher than Curtis Wark and Jalen Milroe. It's much higher than Quinn Ewers, but it's below Will Howard, Jackson Dart, Tyler Shuck, my bad, and Shedeur Sanders. Deep ball accuracy is atrocious for Cam Ward. 18 of 43, 41.86%. That is the worst, I believe, in this sample. Curtis Wark is at 44.83. Jalen Milroe is at 51.35. Quinn Ewers is at 45, which is shocking that Quinn has a better one than him. Jackson Dart at 51.61. Tyler Shuck at 58. And then you have Shedeur at 65. Will Howard at 64. We go outside the numbers. Cam Ward is 64%, which puts him about in the middle of the pack here. Same thing with short game accuracy. He's at 85, which puts him around the middle of the pack here. And then where he does kind of stand out in his accuracy numbers is over the middle. He's at about 76.92, which puts him only behind Jackson Dart, but above Shedeur, above Tyler Shuck, above Will Howard, above Curtis Wark, above Jalen Milroe, and above Quinn Ewers. So the accuracy stuff from what Corey has charted is a concern, a massive concern about Cam that I don't hear a lot of people talk about. And when you watch it on tape, it pops up a ton. With guys like Will Howard and Shador, you don't see very many errant throws. With Cam, you see a lot. He has big misses on his tape. Another one here, middle of the field, just miss errant throw. Clean pocket too. Notice all these are from clean pockets, or most of these are from clean pockets. Let me slow that down for you. I was a bit fast. Yeah, they got that all handled. Clean pocket. Maybe it was tipped. Was it tipped? Nope, wasn't tipped. Just off target. Outside the numbers, off target here. Another one off target here. Off target again. You guys start to get the point. A lot of off target throws here in Cam Ward's tape. Deep ball, missed. Another miss out. Miss over the middle of the field. Another miss here. It's in a critical down and distance too, 4th and 1. Cannot miss there. Not on a simple concept like that. Especially unpressured. Can't miss that throw. Hey, but that's Cam Ward. I understand the appeal of Cam Ward. I understand the tools, right? If you just look at Cam Ward as a blank canvas that you can fix all these stuff around, he's probably going to be more appealing to you. I tend to think that if a player has played a certain amount of snaps in college, they probably have developed tendencies that are going to be hard for them to unlearn in the NFL, especially at the quarterback position. And that's the concern I have with Cam. I'm not convinced that this stuff can be unlearned. Do I see the talent? Do I see the ability with his arm and the ability to throw off platform, his RPO ability, and see why some people would be excited about that? Yes. But the lack of situational awareness on the football field from a player who has played as much football as him is a giant red flag to me, a giant concern. Maybe this is something he can fix in the NFL, but if this were something he can fix, you would imagine it would have been fixed by now in his football career. I see Cam Ward as a mix of the two quarterbacks the Browns have had, right? There's some Baker Mayfield in there. There's some Deshaun Watson in there, right? You see the Deshaun Watson and the patience and the being willing to just see things open up versus throw with anticipation. And his work over the middle of the field is very reminiscent of pre-Cleveland Deshaun Watson. So in good and bad ways, he reminds you of Deshaun. The ability to play out of structure reminds you of Deshaun. The ability to make big plays down the field and run a little bit and be a little bit more slippery, that reminds you of good Deshaun Watson, right? And in good and bad ways, he reminds me of Baker Mayfield. That ability to throw the football with off base, the ability to whip the ball with different arm angles like a second baseman. He has that ability for sure. But the lack of situational awareness is certainly there. Now, Baker has gotten much better at that, but if we're just talking about Cleveland Baker, there's a lot of that in Cleveland Baker's tape. The willingness to hold on to the football or make bad decisions with it in bad times, again, that's there. And then also the inaccuracy spurts that we saw from Baker Mayfield, definitely a thing with Cam Ward. So it's like if you fuse these two together, you get Cam Ward. He's like Deshaun Mayfield or Baker Watson, however you want to put it, but he's kind of a hybrid between the two. Now, am I moved? Did I watch all of this and think to myself, I want him at 2? No, I don't want him at 2. But if the Browns take him at 2 and there is a real plan and they really do feel like this is fixable with him, then we'll see. The talent is there for him to be a good quarterback in the NFL. My worry is that the tendencies are so bad at what he's demonstrated in college that I don't think it can change given the amount of experience that he's had. So that's my view on Cam Ward. Let me know what you guys think. Y'all have a great day. Have an even better night. Peace.